Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody to this Sunday evening satsang program. So today and coming Sunday, and then again on 12th, which is Shri Krishna Janmashtami. So we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we start reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, so let me give a little introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam. So far we've been reading from Bhagavad Gita. All of us are aware Bhagavad Gita is part of, spoken by the Supreme Lord himself and is placed as part of Mahabharata, is called as the fifth Veda. So Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord, and Srimad Bhagavatam is others speaking about the Lord, right? So both are called Krishna Katha. So in Kali Yuga, because of the, it said Manda, Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyo Patritaha. So we're all very short-lived, very unfortunate, very lazy in terms of spiritual, making spiritual progress. So a very easy method of Shravanam and Kirtanam is given for people of Kali Yuga who have no time, right? Ask anybody in this material world in Kali Yuga, people say, I'm busy. Everybody is busy, and everybody is busy with what? With trying to, just manage their family, run their responsibilities, etc. Because it is a difficult, Kali Yuga is difficult, very difficult situation. Previous ages, it wasn't so difficult. So everybody is busy, people don't have time. So Krishna is very merciful, so he knows the situation of people in Kali Yuga. So he is given this, very easy method of Shravanam and Kirtanam, and specifically he came down as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and gave us Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It said Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam kalau nastiva 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 gatiranyata. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna, he came and he glorified Srimad Bhagavatam. So he said, actually, this Srimad, just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we can actually associate with the Lord directly. So I am going to, few little description from the 12th canto of Bhagavatam, which is glorifying Bhagavatam itself. And then we will start with first verse of Bhagavatam, and then we will go into the directly into Krishna Leela, which is 10th canto. Okay, so before I get there, like I said, from the 12th canto, there is glorification about Srimad Bhagavatam. So before we start, we know that there are 18 major Puranas. Okay, so these 18 major Puranas are classified into Puranas in goodness mode. So there are three modes of material nature. There is goodness, passion, and ignorance. So there are three sets of Puranas, 6 each, 6 in the mode of goodness, 6 in the mode of passion, and 6 in the mode of ignorance. So I will read out these names. You might have you might know these. If you know, it's good. Brahma Purana, Padma Purana, Vishnu, Shiva Purana, Linga Purana, Garuda Purana, Narada Purana, Bhagavata Purana, which is Bhagavatam, Agni Purana, Skanda Purana, Bhavishya Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Markandeya Purana, Vamana Purana, Varaha Purana, Matsya Purana, Kurma Purana, and Brahmanda Purana. So like this, there are 18 Puranas. Actually, it is said that any topic which is not concerning the Lord is basically useless. It is compared to the sound that is made by crows. It is useless actually, right? And it is said, on the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, and so on of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. This is from 12th canto. So it is saying the Srimad Bhagavatam is concerned about descriptions of the transcendental name, fame, form, pastimes, and so on of the unlimited Supreme Lord. And it is meant for what? It is meant for bringing about a revolution in the impious life of people. So in Kali Yuga, mostly, we can understand and look around us. and so much of suffering, so much of suffering. Actually, this is the worst of the yugas. Satyuga is the best, and then Kali Yuga is the worst. However, in Kali Yuga also, because generally because people are generally sinful, those of us who are specifically born in this Kali Yuga, we are actually proud of ourselves, but we are actually not the best of qualified people, and hence we have taken birth in this Kali Yuga, and it is required for creating a revolution. So today, if you see, because of this corona, etc., people are suddenly, because of fear or whatever reason, uncertainty about things around them, etc., people at least have slowly started to look at towards spirituality, religion, something, right? Apart from otherwise, people generally don't have time for any of this. And it is said, we want a revolution. We want to change our life completely. We want to change our life completely and live a very peaceful, happy life. That revolution can be brought about by Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So, and it is said, one who with undeviating attention constantly recites this literature at every moment, or who even hears even one verse or half a verse or even a single line or even half a line, certainly purifies his very self. So this is how the potency of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is extremely, it can purify us very easily. And Srimad Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. Brahma Purana has 10,000, Padma Purana has 55, and so on, like that. Srimad Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. And also it is said that if on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra Purnima, which is coming in September, if one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. So just by gifting, so please note, this is on September 2nd, just by gifting Srimad Bhagavatam to somebody, right, or taking Srimad Bhagavatam for ourselves for reading on this auspicious day of Bhadra Purnima, we will attain the supreme destination. So we don't have to do anything else, of course. I mean, because once Srimad Bhagavatam comes, actually Krishna himself comes into our house. And when Krishna himself comes into our house is purified, and then we change our life and become live as per his instructions in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So then there is definitiveness of us achieving the supreme destination. There is no doubt. But specifically on this Bhadra Purnima day, it is recommended that you welcome Srimad Bhagavatam into your house. So please, I request everybody who doesn't have a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, please prepare for it, plan for it. It is on September 2nd. We will again, remind in maybe 2 more weeks, so that, you can. So that is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is described to be the essence of all Vedanta, right? And he said, one who has felt satisfaction from its nectarian mellow will never be attracted by any other literature, right? And it is considered as the best of Puranas. Also, it is considered as the spotless Purana. It is called Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and sublime knowledge. And the Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation, devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. So like I said, this is the easiest way to get out of this miserable world of birth and death. This miserable world, which is padam padam yat vipadam. At every step there is danger. We don't know where this danger can come. It can come from left, right, straight, up, down, back. The only way for us to protect ourselves is by accepting Srimad Bhagavatam and the words of Bhagavad Gita. Actually, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam rajam tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami ma suchaha. He's saying, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Giving up all varieties of religion, all beliefs. Everybody has Monday one God, Tuesday one God, till Sunday, 7 days, 7 gods. But there are 33 crore demigods. How will we satisfy any of them? So like watering a tree will water all the leaves and flowers, etc. So like that, we should water the tree of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So by accepting Sri Krishna as our worshipable Lord, as the only worshipable Lord, Mam ekam, Krishna is saying, Mam ekam means only to me, surrender only to me. Then he says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo, all your sinful activities, sinful reactions. And why are we suffering? We are suffering because of our sinful reactions. So Krishna is saying, just by surrendering unto me all your sinful reactions, I will take away. Don't fear. No need to fear. So anybody who is having fear in today's world condition, it is understandable. Everybody will have fear of their life. Please surrender to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna, chant his holy name. Surrender to Krishna means only depend on Krishna. Like children, they will not depend on different people. If they have a problem, whom will they go to? They'll go to their parents. Just like that. Our Father, Supreme Father is Krishna. If we have any problem, simply we can go to Krishna. And Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the most powerful. So we don't have to worry about our protection. He will definitely take care of us. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is a glorification of Krishna and his devotees. And by accepting Srimad Bhagavatam, we will achieve the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Okay, so this is a brief introduction. Now I'll just read the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very, very important. And then we will start the 10th canto. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya Tonvayadita Tadastatvesh Vignaswarat Tene Brahmardayadikave Muhyanti Yatsurayah Tejo Varim Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatratri Sargom Risha Damna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Translation. O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. This is Vyasadeva. Before he is offering Srimad Bhagavatam to us, he is first offering obeisances to Krishna and he is introducing him as son of Vasudeva. And he is the all-pervading. All-pervading means he is present everywhere. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is offering respects to Krishna. He is saying, I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes. He is the cause of all causes. So if we think about, many a times we become very full of pride saying that I achieved something. Actually, we don't have the power to achieve anything by ourselves. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says there are 5 reasons for any action to happen. And the 5th reason and the most important reason is the super soul, is the Paramatma. So like that, he is the cause of all causes. So this whole creation has come from him. This whole material world has come from him. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. And he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. So we don't have to worry, oh, if I surrender to Krishna, what will happen? He is the most powerful. He is the only independent person. Everybody else is dependent on him. He is just independent. He is not dependent on anybody. Right? So like this, the introduction is given in the first verse itself. There is clear description of who Krishna is. Krishna is the Supreme Person of Godhead. There are many people who say Krishna, he is a great personality. Or maybe no, he is an avatara. Actually, the Supreme Lord is Nirakar. He doesn't have any form. Krishna is just one of his forms. That is offense. So Vyasadeva is starting here saying that he is the Supreme Person of Godhead. He is the absolute truth. The Brahman effulgence. The Brahman, that Nirakar, the impersonal Brahman is just an energy coming from Lord Sri Krishna. It is just his bodily effulgence, brightness coming from his body. That is that impersonal Brahman. But Krishna is a person. So we can reciprocate. We can build a relationship with Krishna as a person. Just like we build relationships with so many other people in this world, we should build this most important relationship with Krishna. Okay, so that is the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the most important thing which I will say, and then we'll get into the 10th canto, the second verse. It says, Dharma prochita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate mahamuni krute kimva parerishvara sadyo hridyavarudyate tratkritivi shushubhistatchanat. Saying completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. Please hear this very carefully. All religious activities which are materially motivated. So in general, why do people do religion? People do religion because we are materially motivated. We go to a temple and we say, I put 10 rupees, please give me this in return. So this dharma, artha, kama. So we say whenever we do puja at home, pujari will come and say dharma, artha, kama, moksha, chaturvida palapurushartha siddhyartham. This dharma, artha, kama, moksha, actually people are stuck with dharma, artha. Actually people are not stuck with dharma also. In Kali Yuga, people only want artha and kama. Artha is money, kama is sense gratification, enjoyment. So Bhagavatam is saying, Bhagavatam completely rejects all these religions which are meant for this artha and kama. And it only propounds the highest truth, which is pure devotional service to the Lord. Just serving Lord to please Him, not with expectation of any return. It is said this beautiful Bhagavatam compiled by the great sage is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. So this is how we have to hear Bhagavatam. How? Attentively and submissively. Attentively, because our mind is distractful, right? It doesn't stay at in one place. It wants to go here, there, everywhere. In 1 second, we can go somewhere else. We can go to the moon and come back, if you know how moon is, right? But here, what it is saying, prevent the mind from going anywhere else, here and there. Fix it attentively and submissively hear the message. Why submissively? Because we think we know everything. So Bhagavatam says that you should submissively hear. You shouldn't think that you know everything. You should start with saying, I am on fool number 1. Only then we can understand the message of Supreme Lord, and only then we can actually receive Krishna. We can receive Krishna in our heart only when we have no arrogance. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi saishna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Only if we are more tolerant than a blade of grass, more, if we think ourselves lower than blade of grass, more tolerant than tree, and if we are ready to give respect to others, even if they don't give us respect, only then we can chant the glories of the Lord. We can receive the Lord in our heart. So this is the background. Bhagavatam is a scripture of pure devotional service. So there are so many scriptures, but Bhagavatam has only description of Bhagavan. Who is Bhagavan? Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasasriya gnana vairagyoschaiva shannam bhagavatingana. So there are 6 qualifications of Bhagavan. One who has all of these: Aishwarya, Virya, valor, Yashaha, fame, Shriyaha, beauty, Gnana, knowledge, and Vairagya, renunciation. One who has all of these in full is Bhagavan. And Bhagavatam describes the glories of Bhagavan. So now actually, ideally, Bhagavatam is supposed to be read from the 1st canto up to the 12th canto. There are 12 cantos. But because it is, we are not recommended to skip to the 10th canto directly. So I'm going to only, we're going to read only very select parts from 10th canto of Bhagavatam, which are actually described by Srila Prabhupada in his Krishna book. But this also will give you an understanding or some glimpse of the taste, nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm going to be, we're going to start from the 10th canto, first chapter, first verse. And I'm going to read through the translation. So we can't read the verses because it might take a lot more time. So I'm going to read through the verses. So please hear attentively and submissively. Please hear with full attention. See, when we think about when we hear about the Lord, when the transcendental sound enters our heart, then we are directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. We don't have to go anywhere else to see the Supreme Lord. We see Him in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we attentively hear, immediately one picture will come to our mind. So when I'm reading a sentence, some picture will come into your mind, right? Be with that picture. Don't distract yourself. Just being in that picture means this is Manasika Puja. By mind, you are actually worshipping the Supreme Lord. So please try to attentively hear. So this is going to be a sequence of 3 sessions. So it will be nice if all of you can attend all the 3. But like I said, it's up to you. We are all independent living entities. We have our free will. We can use our free will or misuse our free will. That is left to us. So I'm starting from the first verse. So maybe I can project this. Yeah, it's okay. Actually, we'll go like this. Text 1. So I'm reading the translation, and wherever it is required, I will elaborate. Okay. So this is the first verse. Says King Parikshit said, "My dear Lord, you have elaborately described the dynasties of both the moon god and the sun god with the exalted and wonderful character of their kings." Sorry, I'm muting. Kindly put yourself on mute because otherwise it will be audible and I'm recording the lecture. So before this 10th canto, just before in the 9th canto, there is description about all the dynasties of we know that there are two kinds of dynasties, Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha, right? Surya Vamsha, Lord appeared as Lord Ramachandra, and Chandra Vamsha, he appeared as Krishna, right? So there is already description. Now Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadev Goswami. So just an introduction. Who is Parikshit Maharaj? Parikshit Maharaj is he is actually son of Uttara. And he is actually Uttara is the wife of Abhimanyu, and he is actually given a curse by a Brahmana saying that he is going to meet with death in 7 days. So he was, all of us have only one day we know, only the birthday. We don't know the other day, right? But Parikshit Maharaj was very fortunate actually, and he was a great devotee. So he also got early notice. He got 7 days. And he said, okay, in 7 days, what should I do? What is my duty? What should I do? Should I go and enjoy myself, go to, other countries? And I mean, he was the emperor of the whole world. He could have said, okay, I'm going to stay in America. Of course, then America was not there. But I'm just saying, right? Or I want to go and stay in Europe for last 7 days and spend my life there. Or he could have done so many things. He had the whole world at his disposal, right? But he came to the banks of Ganges and he sat there, and because he was a great king and he renounced everything, all the munis and sages, everybody came there to actually come in his association, because they knew that there is something wonderful that is going to happen. And at that time, Shukadev Goswami, who is actually the son of Vyasadeva, who's a great personality, he comes and there is a conversation. Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukadev Goswami, saying that, what should I do? I am in the end of my life. Can you please advise what is it that a person who is closer to death, or what is the responsibility of any human being? What should he do? How should he spend his time? And then Shukadev Goswami says, one should, because we don't know when our time will come, everybody should engage in hearing and glorifying the Supreme Lord, right? And then Shukadev Goswami starts speaking this beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the conversation Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami has already described the dynasties of the moon and sun, and so he is saying that what next, right? So he says, oh best of Munis, you already also described the descendants of Yadu, who are very pious and strictly adherent to religious principles. Now if you will kindly describe the wonderful glorious activities of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, who appeared in that Yadu dynasty with Baladeva, his plenary expansion. So he's asking Shukadev Goswami to describe the glories of Krishna. Actually, Krishna's pastimes are so beautiful. We are all attracted by so many things. We are, interested in hearing so many. We want to read other people's, biographies, history, and people read newspaper, etc., etc. Right? So Krishna is aware that, so to attract the attention, Krishna, actually the word Krishna means all attractive. To attract the attention of all our activities, our senses, he actually comes and performs pastimes which are unparalleled. Actually, the sweetness that is there in the Lord's activities, Lord's pastimes, if we can just dive into that sweetness, then nothing else in this material world will appeal to us. That is the reason why Krishna comes and does all his beautiful, especially his childhood pastimes are so beautiful, so relishable. When Kartik month comes, we'll discuss this Damodar Leela. It's so nectarian. It is so because it is Krishna's intention that by hearing these Leelas, we become attracted to him. We should become attracted because Krishna is a beautiful person. He has so many beautiful qualities. One of the great qualities of Krishna is that he's Bhakta Vatsala. He's very dear to his devotees. He says, Krishna says, my devotees are in me, I am in my devotees, and I don't know anything beyond them, they don't know anyone beyond me. Right? It is so intimate, the relationship. Krishna's, Srila Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita that the relationship between the Lord and his devotees is very sweet and transcendental. It's very sweet. Why people take so much of pain to do Krishna Bhakti? Because there is that sweetness in that relationship with Krishna. You know, great sages, great munis, they don't go through so much of austerity simply to get pain. No, because they are getting pleasure which is unparalleled, which is above and over and above what can even be imagined in this material world. It is for that pleasure that devotees go through difficulty, so that we can please that Supreme Lord and experience that sweetness in his relationship. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is asking, please glorify wonderful, glorious activities of Krishna who appeared with Baladeva. So he'll also discuss, tomorrow is Balaram Purnima, the appearance day of Lord Balaram. So also, you know, we'll discuss about Lord Balaram also today a little bit. Verse 3, the super soul, the supreme person of Godhead Sri Krishna, the cause of the cosmic manifestation, appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. Please tell me elaborately about his glorious activities and character from the beginning to the end of his life. See, we should understand, and maybe it's good for me to project also. See, we should understand Krishna doesn't have any birth, like ordinary birth, like all of us, right? He says, Atma Maya. He comes by his own sweet will, and he comes in his own self-same body. He comes as he is in the spiritual world. He appears as he is. So when we look at, we say, you know, man is made of the image of God. So which means that because Krishna has two hands, we also have two hands, two legs, etc., etc. Because we are like God. We don't say son is, we say son is like father. We don't say father is like son. Correct? So we say son is like father. Like that, so we are all children. We are like Krishna. So here it says, he is the cause of cosmic manifestation and he appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. Please tell me about the from beginning to end of his life. So he appears. See, Krishna is like this sun, right? So sun, when we say, because we are in some part of the world, we say, okay, the sun, you know, this was the time of sunrise and at this time sunset, which according to us, the sun is gone. But sun is not gone anywhere. Sun is just gone out of our sight. Now somebody else who is in some other part of the world will see the sun when it is set here, because that is a time for sunrise there. So like that, Krishna doesn't take birth and die like us. There is no birth and death for Krishna. He just appears and disappears. And that is why we call appearance day. We don't say birthday. Birth is only related to material conditions. Like we take material, we are all material, we have material body, so we take material birth. Though we are actually Atma, we are spirit soul, but we are, because we are enamored by this material world, we get a body which will help us try to enjoy in this material world. Okay, so he is asking Shukadeva Goswami to actually narrate all his glorious activities from beginning to end. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system. So this is very important. This Parampara, right? We cannot simply hear so many people talk about, you know, I know about God, I will glorify God. No, we cannot glorify God unless we are in Parampara. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarsho Viduhu Sakaleneha Mahata Yogo Nashta Parantapa. This Gnana, this knowledge of the Supreme Lord has to come in Parampara. Evam Parampara Praptam. So this Guru Shishya, the disciplic succession, as it is called in English, Guru Shishya Parampara, right? Where there are 4 authorized, authentic paramparas, Vaishnava paramparas. It is called Brahma Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya, and Kumara Sampradaya. So ISKCON belongs to Brahma Sampradaya, where the knowledge, Brahma got this knowledge from whom? Brahma the Adikave. Brahma got the knowledge from his heart. The Supreme Lord Vishnu revealed this knowledge through his heart. And then he gave it to his son Narada, then Narada gave it to Vyasa, and so on and so forth. That is how this parampara has come. So we should only hear glorification of Supreme Lord in the parampara system. Such glorification is released by those no longer interested in false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. We are always waiting to glorify something in this material world. Something, oh, it's so beautiful, so nice, so this, so that. If we are very interested in glorifying this material world, then we cannot relish the glorification of the Supreme Lord. We should understand that all of this is actually coming from the Supreme Lord, and then that He is the origin of all glorification, or He should be the goal of all glorification. Descriptions of the Lord, please hear this attentively. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. What is the medicine? We don't have to go to a doctor. The medicine is just with us, is Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher? So if we are not interested in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing about the glories of the Lord, we are compared to a butcher. What does a butcher do? He mercilessly kills the animal, and actually by doing that he is also killing his own soul, because he is going to degrade his own progress in life because of that sinful activity. So we are compared to butchers if we are not interested in hearing the glorification. So please, we know we are in the middle of so many difficulties. Please find time to chant the holy names of the Lord, to hear, to read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the only hope for us. Like I said, it is the right medicine. Taking the boat of Krishna's lotus feet, my grandfather Arjuna and others crossed the ocean of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in which such commanders as Bhishma Deva resembled great fish. So he's saying they crossed the battlefield of Kurukshetra. We have to cross this ocean of birth and death. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, my grandfathers crossed this ocean, which was very difficult to cross, as easily as one steps over a hoof print of a calf. How difficult is it to step over the hoof print, like the footprint of a calf? Not very difficult. Even a small child can cross over. Because my mother surrendered unto Lord Krishna's lotus feet, the Lord Sudarshana Chakra in hand entered her womb and saved my body. Right? This is Parikshit Maharaj saying, when he was small, because of Brahmastra, which was left by Ashwatthama, that Brahmastra comes to actually kill Parikshit Maharaj, who was still in the womb of his mother. And then the Lord actually appears himself in the womb of Uttara. And Parikshit, when he was a small child, he actually sees that. He sees that Lord who is carrying the Sudarshan Chakra, who comes and saves his body. And that is why he is called Parikshit, because after coming out of the mother's womb, he is Pariksha, he is testing everybody. Are you the same Lord? Are you the same Lord? Right? So that is why he is called Parikshit. Right? So like this, Parikshit Maharaj was such a great devotee that even in the womb of his mother, the Lord came to protect him. And this is the position of all devotees. The Lord will protect them irrespective of what situation. So, like I said, if we surrender to Krishna, then there is no doubt of Krishna protecting us. There is no doubt. Krishna will definitely protect those who have surrendered to him. Surrender means completely dependent on Krishna. Lift your hands and say, Krishna, only you are my resort. There is nobody else to protect me. That's it. Right? Like Lord Ramachandra says, when Vibhishana comes and surrenders, all the Sugriva and everybody else says, don't accept him, he's come from the enemy's side. Then Ramachandra says, actually, even if Ravana comes and surrenders to me, I will accept. That is the Supreme Lord's position. So we have to just say Krishna, I am yours. That's it. And then Lord starts to take care of us. Right? So Lord Krishna, appearing within and outside all materially embodied living beings by his own potency in the forms of eternal time, gave liberation to everybody. Okay. My dear Sukadeva Goswami, you have already explained that Sankarshana, who belongs to the second quadruple, appeared as the son of Rohini named Balaram. So like I said, tomorrow is Balaram Purnima. So I'll briefly describe what happens from Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. From him there is an expansion. His expansion in the spiritual world is called Balaram or Baladeva. Now, from Balaram, there is what is called as Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. From this Sankarshana, there is Narayana, who is the expansion. From Narayana, there is again Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. From that second Sankarshana, that is what Prabhupada, this verse is saying, who belongs to the second quadruple. This is Chaturvyuha is called quadruple. that Sankarshana, who belongs to the second quadruple, he appeared as son of Rohini named Balarama. If Balarama was not transferred from one body to another, how is it possible that he was first in the womb of Devaki and then in the womb of Rohini? Actually, when we go through this first 2-3 chapters, we'll actually hear that Balaram first appears in the womb of Devaki, and then by Lord's desire, Balaram actually moves to the womb of Rohini, and people think that Devaki has had a miscarriage, right? So that is the arrangement by the Lord, so that Balaram actually appears first as in Devaki's womb and then gets transferred to the womb of Rohini. Why did Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, leave the house of his father Vasudeva and transfer himself to the house of Nanda in Vrindavana? Where did the Lord, the master of the Yadu dynasty, live with his relatives in Vrindavana? So Parikshit Maharaj is asking questions. Lord Krishna lived both in Vrindavana and Mathura. What did he do there? Why did he kill Kamsa, his mother's brother? Such killing is not at all sanctioned in the Shastras. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has no material body, yet he appears as a human being. Like I said, he appears as a human being. Actually, human beings look like him, so he appeared like human beings. For how many years did he live with descendants of Vishnu? Which means that for how many years was he present in this Leela, in this material world? Actually, Krishna's Leelas are eternal. They keep, and it's like a continuous cycle. So he finishes one Leela here, then he goes to another universe. So we should know that there are, countless universes, material universes. And the Lord appears himself in the one in once in the day of Brahma, and like that he appears in all the universes. So he's continuous. He's like continuously his pastimes are going on. How many wives did he marry, and for how many years did he live in Dwarka? O great sage who know everything about Krishna, please describe in detail all the activities of which I have inquired and also those of which I am not, for I have full faith and I am very eager to hear of them. See, this is the qualification of being submissive, right? Parikshit Maharaj is not saying, okay, I know some of it, you tell me only this, you don't, or he is not saying, I know, I have asked you all the questions. No, he's saying, please answer in detail all activities of what I have inquired and those which I have not, because I am very eager to hear about them. Because of my woe on the verge of death, I have given up even drinking water. Yet because I am drinking the nectar of topics about Krishna, which is flowing from the lotus mouth of your Lordship, my hunger and thirst, which are extremely difficult to bear, cannot hinder me. Actually, Parikshit Maharaj takes a vow for 7 days, no drinking, no eating. Right? We can't even think of surviving like that, right? But he's saying, why is he able to? Because he is drinking the nectar of topics about Krishna, right? So we should understand, actually Shastra says, Ante Narayana Smriti. At the end of our life, we should remember Krishna. How will we remember Krishna if we don't remember Krishna when we are living? So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. Process of Krishna consciousness is to always remember Krishna, whether in happiness or difficulty. If there is happiness, you say, oh Krishna, so merciful, you have been so merciful, you have given me this. If there is misery, you say, oh Krishna, I should have suffered more, but because of your mercy, I got only little suffering. So like this, devotees always think about Krishna, whether in a good situation or bad situation, always think about Krishna. Right? Some things, we have to do when we have pain. We have some people say, Ayo Appa, Ayo Amma. We can say Ayo Krishna. He's Appa, Amma, everything included. Right? So we should practice this. When we are going through the difficulty of living, we should practice thinking, remembering Krishna in our lives. That is the whole practice. So that at the time of death is very, very painful. There's one, king by name Kulashekar. He's written one beautiful verse. Krishna tvadiya pada pankaja panjaranta adyaiva me vishatu manasa rajahamsa prana prayana samaye kafavata pittai Kantavarodana vidosmaranam kutaste. So he's saying that, at the time of death, there will be kapha, there will be mucus, bile, and, I can't utter a sound also. And actually it is in Garuda Purana, it is said that, death is like being bitten by 40,000 scorpions at one time. It's so painful. When it is so painful, when we are in so much of distress, how will we remember Krishna? So Kulashekar Alvar, he's saying that now I am in good health. Krishna, please take my life away so that I can die thinking about you. Right? So it is this practice. If we have a little, headache, some problem, fever, this, that, and all that, we should try to remember Krishna. We are practicing. We have to practice to remember Krishna, because the final exam, which is called death, we should try and remember Krishna, because whatever we think at the time of death, we become that in our next life. Suta Goswami said, O son of Bhrigu, after Shukadeva Goswami, the most respectable devotee, the son of Vyasadeva, heard the pious questions of Maharaj Parikshit. He thanked the king with great respect. Then he began to discourse on topics concerning Krishna, which are the remedy for all sufferings in this age of Kali. What is the remedy for all of our sufferings? Topics concerning Krishna. So you can start reading this by getting the Krishna book. Okay, and like I said, on Bhadra Purnima day, please get Srimad Bhagavatam and start reading from first canto, first verse. Or you can read directly Krishna book. Prabhupada has given that, this one for us, that we can read Krishna book, or we can take Bhagavatam and we can start reading from the first verse. Srila Shukadeva Goswami said, O your majesty, best of all saintly kings, because you are greatly attracted to the topics of Vasudeva, it is certain that your intelligence is firmly fixed in spiritual understanding. See, because if we go and meet somebody, we talk about so many other topics, right? But Parikshit Maharaj is talking only about Krishna. So Shukadeva Goswami is saying, so if two businessmen come together, what will they discuss? Will they discuss chess or cricket or something else? No, they'll discuss business. Like that, if two devotees come together, what they will discuss? They'll discuss about Krishna. So here Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj both are perfect. One is a perfect hearer, the other is a perfect speaker. So both of them, they are glorifying. Shukadeva Goswami is saying, because your intelligence is firmly fixed, which means that not going here and there. Right? He knows that his only goal is Krishna. And he says, because that attraction is unceasing, it is certainly sublime. The Ganges emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva Krishna, three varieties of men are purified: the speaker or preacher, he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. So as we are hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, I am speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam, you are all hearing, and if anybody questions or inquires, all of us will become purified. So before you came into this session, you had X percentage purification. After this session, that purification percentage has increased. The more the purification means that the lesser our suffering in this world of material, world of birth and death. So if we become completely pure, then we are qualified to enter Vaikuntha, Goloka. Okay, and the whole goal of our human life is to purify ourselves. All actions that we do should be to purify ourselves. When whatever work we are doing is to purify ourselves. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam first canto talks about what kind of occupation a person should do, and it says that one should work in such a one should take up such a occupational duty which will allow him to develop love of Krishna. Not the one which will take you away from Krishna. That kind of occupational duty work is not necessarily good for us. So it is very important that we do such kind of work that brings us closer to Krishna. Okay, so from here, verse 17, the pastime is starting. So this is the prelude, saying, once when Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds of thousands of military phalanxes of various conceited demons dressed like kings, she approached Lord Brahma for relief. So he's saying, when Mother Earth was overburdened, when does Mother Earth become overburdened? When there is a lot of sinful activities happening. So when there are a lot of sinful activities happening, then Mother Earth gives up at some time by having an earthquake, right? Or by not, producing sufficient food grains, by withholding whatever precious things is there in her, within herself. Not allowing water, providing water, because water, people take water from the earth, When does all those things happen? When we are sinful, when the human civilization becomes sinful. So here it is saying she was overburdened by those hundreds of thousands of military phalanxes, because maybe they were not king. Actually means Naradeva. He's a representative of the Supreme Lord. His only duty is to ensure that all of his praja means all citizens, not just human beings, even an animal born, ensure that they can actually perfect their life and go back to the spiritual world. That is the goal, or that is the responsibility of a king. If a king doesn't do this duty, then he becomes a burden. And we can imagine what is the state of all these politicians in today's world. They are super burden to Mother Earth, because they are not really doing their duty. So Mother Earth, because she was overburdened, she approached Lord Brahma. So Brahma is the first, he's called as a secondary creator. Brahma, first the Lord creates, gives all the ingredients for this, actually creates this material universe, and gives all the ingredients for Brahma to secondary create, to create all the living entities, all this beautiful nature that we see, and this and that, everything. So so all the demigods, what we call demigods. So there are two terminologies. One is God, who is Bhagavan, who is Krishna. Then there are demigods, who are all those people who are appointed by the Supreme Lord to take care of different functions of this material universe. So Mother Earth assumed the form of a cow, very much distressed, with tears in her eyes. She appeared before Lord Brahma and told him about her misfortune. So whenever all the demigods have some trouble, they immediately go to Brahma, because they know Brahma is the one who can give them solution. So he goes, she's crying, she's in a very distressed condition, and she tells about her misfortune, how all these kings, so-called kings, in the dress of, demons in the dress of kings, are doing all sinful activities. Thereafter, having heard of the distress of Mother Earth, Lord Brahma with Mother Earth, Lord Shiva, and all the other demigods approached the shore of the ocean of milk. So this is called Kshira Sagara. We only know of ocean of salt, right? But we don't know of ocean of milk. Actually, there are various oceans. There's ocean of honey, so on, right? In different parts of this material universe. So this ocean of milk, actually, you would have heard of Dhruvaloka, Dhruvatare, right? Pole star. So actually, in this Dhruvaloka, there is this ocean of milk. In this ocean of milk, there is one island called as Shweta Dvipa. And in that island, Vishnu, who is the maintainer of this, when you say Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, this Vishnu actually is sleeping there on Ananta Shesha, and Mother Lakshmi is serving his lotus feet. So the demigods, when they have trouble, they go to Brahma. When Brahma also cannot solve their problem, then they go to Vishnu. But they can't directly go to Vishnu and talk to him. They have to go to the shore of this ocean of milk. And what do they do there? After reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the master of the whole universe, the supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering, right? So they're introducing the Lord Vishnu. What is the introduction? They worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan. He is the master of the whole universe. So everything comes from him. He is the enjoyer. We are the servants. We are not here to enjoy. But because we are trying to become masters, that is why we are suffering in this material world. Once we give up this attempt to become masters and we establish ourselves as the servant of the Supreme Lord, then we can experience the supreme bliss. And he's also called the Supreme God of all gods. Like I said, everyone is actually comes from Krishna. Everybody is an expansion, either expansion or separated expansion, or separated expansions of the jivas, like us. Up till Brahma, all of us are jivas. So he says, and he is the provider for everyone. Who provides? We think, oh, I am the head of the family, or I am the earning member, I am providing. No, we are not providing. Supreme Lord provides. Supreme Lord provides even to that elephant which eats tons of food at each time, right? And he is the one who diminishes everyone's suffering. Like I said, if we have suffering, what should we do? Just go to Krishna. That's all. With great attention, they worshipped Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting Vedic mantras known as Purusha Sukta. So there is this mantra called Purusha Sukta. So there is a protocol to be followed. When the demigods have to invite the attention of the Supreme Lord, they go and they speak the Purusha Sukta. It's not that they can just go and knock on Vishnu's door and Vishnu will appear. No, he doesn't appear so easily, right? So they have to chant this Purusha Sukta. Then what happens? Then still the Lord doesn't appear. He communicates with Lord Brahma. So then, while in trance, Lord Brahma heard the words of Lord Vishnu vibrating in the sky. Thus he told the demigods, "O demigods, hear from me the order of Kshirodakashaya Vishnu." This Vishnu is called Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, the Supreme Person, and execute it attentively without delay. So now Brahma is sharing the plan that Vishnu shared. Vishnu shared it subtly only with Brahma. Nobody else could hear, right? Now he is sharing that plan with all the demigods. So he's saying that please hear and execute it without delay, and not just simply hear and leave it. Please execute it also. This says Lord Brahma informed demigods. Before we submitted our petition to the Lord, he was already aware of the distress on earth. Consequently, for as long as the Lord moves on earth to diminish its burden by his own potency in the form of time, all of you demigods should appear through plenary portions as sons and grandsons in the family of the Yadus. You're saying the Lord will appear on earth and he will remain there till he removes the burden. You can't say able to. It is his desire when he wants to diminish the burden. Till he diminishes the burden, he will be there till he finishes his pastime. Till then, all of you demigods should appear in the family of Yadus. Yadus will be his relatives. So all the demigods appear as his relatives. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who has full potency, will personally appear as the son of Vasudeva. Therefore, all the wives of the demigod should also appear in order to satisfy him. The foremost manifestation of Krishna is Sankarshana, who is known as Ananta. He is the origin of all incarnations within this material world. Previous to the appearance of Lord Krishna, this origin of Sankarshana will appear as Baladeva, just to please the Supreme Lord Krishna in his transcendental pastimes. So I'll just speak 2 minutes about Balaram, as tomorrow is Balaram Purnima. Maybe we might have a program we'll announce, and then we'll end here. We'll continue in the next week. So Balaram, like I said, he is the first expansion of Krishna, and he is not different from Krishna. Actually, he is Krishna, but Krishna is black and Baladev is white. Actually, Baladev is considered as the second body of Krishna. It's just like, whenever there is a one candle and you take that candle and light another candle, that other candle is also similar to this candle. There's no difference, right? So similarly, Baladev is considered as the second body of the Lord. And actually, the whole reason for Balaram being there is to facilitate the activities, to facilitate service. One second. Can you please mute yourself? Okay, so the whole reason why Balaram's whole intention is to serve the Lord. Balaram serves the Lord in 5 rasas. There are 5 rasas to serve the Lord, which is Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. In all the 5 rasas, Balaram serves the Supreme Lord. Right? So everything, actually the whole spiritual world is actually an expansion of Balaram. So even, everything that the Lord uses, his shoes, his chappals, his clothes, his, everything. Even for example, when we are doing devotion service, when we are doing Arati, we are, whatever paraphernalia we are using, etc., everything is an expansion of Balaram. So that is why, we should not generally use many times I've seen devotees don't give sufficient respect to the mat. We pull the mat from using our leg when we are doing Arati. We should understand that it is actually an expansion of Balaram. So everything, Krishna's bed, pretty much everything that Krishna uses is an expansion of Balaram. So Balaram is mainly there to serve Krishna. The other thing is Balaram is also called as Adi Guru. He gives the potency, the bala. He infuses that bala into the Guru. spiritual master who accepts devotees and enables them to traverse this path of spiritual life. That spiritual master is actually, he's empowered by Balaram, who's called Adiguru. Also, once if anybody of you have gone to, any of you have gone to Vrindavan, in Vrindavan we have ISKCON temple. There there is Krishna Balaram are present there, right? There is deities of Krishna Balaram. So once two disciples of Srila Prabhupada are having a discussion, who is stronger? Is Krishna stronger or is Balaram stronger? So there is a discussion, and then some say no, Krishna is strong, some say Balaram is strong, and they give various reasons why Krishna must be stronger or Balaram is stronger. Then they come to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, who is stronger, Krishna or Balaram? Prabhupada says, do you see in Krishna Balaram in the temple, actually Balaram is putting his hand on Krishna. So Balaram is putting his hand on Krishna, so who must be stronger? The one who is taking that weight must be stronger. So Krishna is stronger. So anyway, this is to show that that they are actually Krishna and Balaram are just their only difference is in their color. And Balaram considers Krishna as the Supreme Lord, and is always ready to serve him. So Balaram appears as Lakshmana when Krishna appears as Lord Ramachandra. When Krishna appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Balaram appears as Nityananda Prabhu. So like this, he is always present with Krishna to enable his pastimes. Okay, so we will continue from here. 2 more sessions, like I said, next Sunday and again at 12th. Please make yourself free. People who are working, if required, put whatever. We'll have this class at maybe 7 o'clock on the day because it's a working day. Please ensure that any meetings, etc., you move it out, because Krishna will be born on that day, on 12th, right? So we'll discuss the appearance. We'll see how much more we can go. I would like to see that we stop before Krishna's appearance and discuss Krishna's appearance on that day. So we'll see how it goes. So all of you, please be aware, make yourself available for next Sunday and also 12th. And also on 12th, we will discuss a few other aspects after the appearance. Also, there are other things to be discussed. So we'll discuss that. So with that, I will end this session. If anybody has any questions, you can please ask.